guys, it is Eric here again. It's been a bit of time since I've done a tutorial. I've just been very busy with school. Shouldn't really be doing a tutorial now since I have finals this week, but I need to get my mind off of things, so I'm gonna make one. I just want to thank you guys also for 2,000 subscribers. That's amazing. I'm still wrapping my head around that number, that 2,000 plus people want to watch some random guy on the internet talk about coding a Minecraft client. But all jokes aside, thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me, even if I don't show it or publicly talk about it that much. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, in this episode today I'm gonna go over doing like a colored enchantment glint, where you can like change the color of the enchantment glint for all items, or make it chroma colored where it cycles through all the colors, that sort of stuff. So let's start off by making a mod. So I'm gonna say new class. Let's call it mod glint color. Normally we'll for all of our mods we extend mod draggable, but for this mod there's no need to have it be draggable, really, in my opinion. So we're just gonna extend mod. We want to extend mod, and there's not actually going to be that much in this class, to be honest. I am going to do a private static final color default color, and so this is going to be the default enchantment glint color, and so the default color is 128 for the red, 64 for the blue, and 204, or sorry, 64 for the green and 204 for the blue. I will leave all the color stuff in the description, RGB, HSV, int, and hex. I'll leave those in the description for the default color if you would like that. So let's import color. So if we hover over it, we want to import the Java AWT color. So for me that's the top one, but it might not be the top one for you. I'm going to do one other variable. So this is going to be private color custom color. And just for this tutorial, I'm going to make it red. So let's go 204, 64, and 64. That should be a red color, but kind of the same brightness as the original enchantment glint. I would like to do a get. So what we want to do is we want to get color. So we're going to say public color get color. And depending on if our mod is enabled, we want to either return the default enchantment color or our custom enchantment color. So I'm going to say if is enabled. So if our mod is enabled, we are going to return our custom color. Else, let's return our default color. That's pretty much it right now for mod. I will expand on this a little bit later in the video for doing a chroma kind of effect where it changes colors. But now we gotta go find where the Minecraft item, the enchantment glint, is rendered. So I'm gonna go and try to find that. So let's go to the client package, and I'm gonna guess it's gonna be in the render package. Now there's quite a bit here. But maybe it would be in here, kind of where all the mobs are, because it's like an item. So I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be render item. Is just my first guess, because items are entities, weirdly, and this seems like a very positive thing right here. Resource location item glint, and it references the enchantment glint texture. So I think we're off to a good start. So let's scroll down here and see if we can find where it renders the item. Okay, so here's where the item gets rendered. This looks positive. If stack has effect, which I believe has effect, is the, yes, has effect returns is item enchanted. So then we render the effect on it. And render effect is the enchantment glint from the looks of it. Yep. Here's the resource location. And what it looks like is a bunch of GL code. Now, where's the color? They're right here. So if I hover over render model, it looks like render model takes a model and an int color. It's passed a color right here, which should be the default enchantment glint color. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our custom color in place of this integer. So I'm going to make an int. And it's going to be custom enchantment glint color. Now, we need to have a getter for this. So, our mod is not static, as we remember. Our getter is not static, so we can't access it in a static way. So we're going to do just like the mod instances and only have one instance of our mod. So let's have private static mod glint color. Glint color. Now, since it is not a draggable mod, ooh, I forgot to silence my phone. Since it's not a draggable mod, we don't need to register it with the HUD Manager API, but we still have to actually initialize it to a field. So we can say mod glint color. Oops, what did I just call it? Glint color. Yeah, is new mod mod glint color. Just like all mods, we're going to want a getter, get glint color. I'm going to call it get mod glint color, just for sake of things. So now we can say mod instances dot get mod glint color. Let me make this bigger. Dot get color. And now we want to say dot get RGB. So that's the RGB color as an int. Now we can just replace the glint color with our custom glint color. Now hopefully we should see, let me make sure, yep, default limit mod's true, so it's going to be enabled by default. So hopefully we should see that we have red enchantment glint. So let's run the game and see what happens. Hopefully it won't crash. We'll find out. Let's go to our world. Look at that. We have a red enchantment glint. Now, here's the problem. It's a red enchantment glint on all the items, but our armor is enchanted and it doesn't look red. That's because our armor is rendered in a different place than our item is rendered. And so we need to, again, apply a different color to our armor. So I think that's what's next to do. Let's figure out where armor is rendered. So let's go back to the render package. And this seems to be where all mobs are rendered. And armor is a layer in Minecraft, because you can take it on, put it off. It's kind of like when you shear sheep, how the sheep wool is a different layer than the sheep, because you can shear it and it comes off. So I'm going to go look at first biped armor, and it looks like it extends armor base, and it doesn't really do much rendering in here. So that's not good. Let's go to the armor base. Oh, look at that. Here's our enchantment item glint, once again. That's what we're looking for. So now we just got to figure out where the enchantment glint is actually rendered. So if we kind of scroll through this class, it looks pretty daunting. We see there's some colors here. You know, it's binding textures. It looks pretty confusing in here. But this looks positive right here. item stack that is item enchanted. If it's enchanted, it calls this function. So let's right-click this function and say open declaration. Look at that. Here is our enchantment glint right here. Bind texture, enchantment glint. Another way we could have gotten here is if you right-click a variable and open call hierarchy, you can see where it's used. So that's kind of another quick way of getting to things. We can see where something is used. So now if we're kind of looking around, we're looking for where it colors things. This looks like the color that is used here. So what I'm going to do is, this is in a for loop, so let's get the colors as an int array for RGB once, so we can use it in the for loop as many times as we want without having to redo the calculations to get our floats. If that makes any sense. Just it would be a tiny bit more efficient. So let's do custom glint color equals mod instances dot get mod glint color dot get color. Now there's a bunch of different options in here. So what we want is the RGB color components. So if we look right here, you can see get RGB color components. Seems to be the one we want. It returns us an array. And based on the Java doc, we can either pass it in an array to populate, or if we say null, it just gives us an array. And what's my error here? Cannot convert from float to int. Ah, okay. This makes it easier. So this is going to actually be a float from 0 or 1, which is perfect because that is what GL color takes. It's going to be red, green, blue, and alpha. So let's just remove those. So it's red, green, blue, alpha, and our float is red, green, blue. So we're going to say custom glint color of 0 for the red, custom glint color of 1 for the green, and custom glint color of 2 for blue. If we run our client, I believe we should see that we have kind of red glowing armor, which is our enchantment glint color. What we chose was red. So if we go to F5, there we go. There is a slight red effect on our armor. Perfect. Now, what if we want to do color changing? Sounds like fun. I like color changing armor. Why not? Let's go back to our mod glint color. So how I would go about this is we want to say every tick we want to change the color. We could do it every frame, but if your game is running, 1,000 frames a second, your animation speed is going to be a lot greater, and your colors are going to change a lot faster than if you bind it to the tick rate, which should always be 20 ticks a second unless your game is lagging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new private color, and let's call it chroma color. And I'm going to, by default, assign chroma color to be the default color, just so there's no nulls or anything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind myself to the tick event. So let's do at event target public void, let's just call it on tick, and it should be client tick event is what I called it. So now this will happen 20 ticks a second. So let's get a float hue, which is going to keep track of our hue value. And in the tick event, we will say if hue is greater than 1, hue is 0. So it wraps around. We never want hue to go above 1. For HSV colors, it's always 0 to 1. And we're just going to say hue plus equals, for a speed, let's just go 0.01. If you want it to go faster, make this number greater. If you want to go slower, make this number less, with more decimals. Then we also want to assign the chroma color. So let's just say chroma color equals color.get, let's do HSB color. So our hue is going to be that. Our saturation is going to be 0.69F. And our brightness, or HSV for value, that's how you want to call it, 0.8 for 80%. I will, again, put in the description the default color, RGB, brightness, hex, all that. So if you want it to just be a different color, but like kind of the same brightness and everything, you can do that. Or if you want to experiment, you can start to change these values and make some very bright enchantment glints or some very dark enchantment glints. It's really up to what you want in your client. Then instead of returning custom color, let's return chroma color. Let's run the client. And hopefully we should see that we have rainbow color. There we go. Seems to be pretty rainbow to me. Make sure our armor is going rainbow too. Perfect. I'm not going to go over it in this this video today, but you don't have to stick to just this code. You could have options for your client. You know, if they change something in a GUI screen, turn on chroma, or else they can pick a color. Or you know, when you get damaged, it changes color, or you know, there's a lot of different things you could do with your client. You know, you don't just have to stick to these tutorials. You know, you could have it. You could turn off the enchantment glint. That could be a fun thing to explore. Is look at how items do the enchantment glint, and in the item renderer say, hey, if my enchantment glint enable is true in my config, then do the enchantment glint, or if it's false, then don't render any enchantment glint on an item. Could be kind of fun. It's really up to you. That's going to be it, though. Thanks so much for watching. Hang in there.